Hi, welcome to the Silverthorne Pulse. I'm Kim Jardam with the town of Silverthorne, and I'm here with town manager Ryan Hyland today. Thanks for being here, Ryan.
Thanks for inviting me.
We're going to jump right into a recap of the council meeting on Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. So we kicked off the evening with a work session, and we had a 2023 large project overview of projects that are coming up for the town in the next calendar year. So let's talk a little bit about what's going to be happening in 2023.
Yeah, we have a couple of, we're headed into budget season, and so in a couple of weeks we will be going over the entirety of the budget that we're proposing that council will deliberate on. But we've got a couple of really big projects that we didn't want to just present in that forum. They really deserve their own evening, if you will. So that's what we did at the work session. So the first project that we talked about was a remodel of portions of the rec center, and really significant project in that it touches the men's, women's locker room, the family locker room, and then also would relocate the stairwell and create some more usable space there. So kind of a similar theme to what we did a number of years ago where, sorry to the racquetball players of the world, but those spaces didn't get as much use and repurposed, if folks recall, and that's where we added all of that space upstairs. So part of the strategic plan for the rec center, we're at the tail end of that plan, and the plan calls for us maximizing every potential space that we have in the facility. So a big project. Again, council will look at that again in light of the entire budget in a couple of weeks, but got a preview there. So yeah, I think the main thing for that project is if anybody's used that family locker room, it's just way too small, it's not configured properly, and it's just not up to the standard of the rest of the center. So a little more to come there with the bigger budget conversation, but council got an overview, and we're supportive of that project. Great. So next project we talked about, also a pretty big one, kind of two projects, but they're really, they work together. We've got the Trent Park expansion, and so after many years we're at a point where those that are familiar with Trent Park, you've got Trent Park on one side and what we've called the overflow parking and the dirt lot on the other side. That whole dirt lot property would become part of Trent Park. And so looking at the designs for that, got a paved surface pump track, you've got a basketball court, some grass areas, some climbing features, you've got a warming hut and restrooms, and that's a design that we've worked with the community refining over a couple of years. So excited to bring that to the Willowbrook neighborhood, but also connecting that. The second part of that project is doing a roadway, sidewalks on each side that would connect Adams, so you would have the Smith Ranch neighborhood connecting to the park and to Willowbrook. So continuing the theme of neighborhood to neighborhood connections that we have throughout the community, and those two projects would move forward in tandem. Again, council will look at those in light of the whole budget in a couple of weeks, but pretty big project for Trent Park.
Great. And we also have the short-term rental survey out in the public eye right now at this time. That survey closes on September 30th. We've already had over 1,100 responses. And you could talk a little bit too about the open house that we just had as well. So we're collecting feedback from the community, and there's still time to do so. But tell us a little bit about the open house.
Yeah, open house. We did 3 sessions at the pavilion, did a morning, a midday, and an evening. I think we had around 70 folks that attended and were able to look at the concept and talk to council members and staff. So that was a great opportunity. Like you said, huge response on the online survey. And hopefully, if you haven't taken that, get online at silverthorne.org and navigate to that survey. We do also have the opportunity, if for whatever reasons folks don't want to take the survey but just want to provide some thoughts, we've got the email directly to staff here at Town Hall, which I'm forgetting. It is
strfeedback@silverthorne.org.
all right, strfeedback@silverthorne.org, and we have been receiving emails there as well. So still time to comment, and council's really interested in hearing from everybody in the community how they feel about the proposal to have some different caps in different areas.
Great. So now we'll move on to the town council meeting itself, and we had 2 resolutions on the agenda that were supporting grant applications. And again, that ties back to what we were just speaking about, which is the Trent Park expansion. So we're actually applying for 2 different funding opportunities. Can you tell us just a little bit about who those organizations are and what those funds will
If
do?
you remind me of the names.
Yes. Great Outdoors Colorado Trust Fund and Land and Water Conservation Fund.
Right, so 2 different opportunities. GOCO, the first one, we have received a number of grants in the past, and so we're hopeful to get some funding there. And a new opportunity that was brought to us by our grant partners at Sustainable Strategies that we're looking for through the water opportunity. We'll see, no guarantees, but when there are grant opportunities, we always pursue those. So the formality of council needing to approve those applications is what we checked the box on the other night.
Great. Then we headed into the public hearing section of the meeting, which included an ordinance, a second reading of the ordinance for the purchase of, we keep coming back to all these projects,
Right.
the Adams Avenue extension right-of-way. So the property purchase from Excel Energy.
Yeah, they've got a piece of property that's excess property that's in between the Willowbrook neighborhood and Smith Ranch neighborhood, and so we are purchasing that so that we can make that connection, and that was the final formal action that council needed to take to enable that purchase.
Excellent. And then we had an action item, which was a resolution approving the site plan for the Summit County North Branch Library. So they're undergoing a bit of a renovation, and I believe there's an addition to the building as well.
Yeah, pretty exciting. We're sitting here at Town Hall, which if you go way back in time, Summit County Library used to be in this building. We kind of share a campus now, if you will, and we're on the same property, but they're at the north end of the parking lot, and they are undertaking a pretty exciting remodel and expansion. And so council looked at that from the site plan modification planning perspective. It was approved. They have also interacted with the library group previously as a funder of that project, and so council had committed $50,000 to help move that project forward. So excited to see that get underway. There was a quick mention, quick plug for the library's temporary location over at Bluebird, which is pretty popular, and they're enjoying being in that space right now. But yeah, you'll see some construction going on here next to Town Hall with our partners at the library soon.
Excellent. Those were the key topics at our town council meeting for September 14th, 2022. A quick plug for some upcoming events here in town. Our first Friday is October 7th. The details are to be determined. We haven't made that announcement yet as to exactly what that event will look like, but we know First Fridays are always a great time. And then on October 9th, we have...
A couple days later, Pumpkin Fest, one of the most popular events I think we do each year, always over at Rainbow Park. And yeah, that'll be here soon.
Thank you for being here with us today. We will see you next time.